Hi, Sharon Durbin Graves, Painting with Acrylics 101.com, here in my Kentucky studio. I don't know where you are. It's cold here right now. It's been crazy cold. Last week I was in Florida. Actually, yesterday I was in Florida. So it was much warmer there than it is here. I came back to about 20 degrees. Yesterday, thank goodness that I didn't come home yesterday morning because it was 8 degrees here then. I came home in the afternoon and it was, 35 or 40. While I was in Florida, I took my drawing supplies and some watercolors and I was going to make some note cards or watercolors, some like 8 by 10s or something like that. Well, I opened up my bag and realized, oh, no brushes. I left the brushes at home. So I thought, well, my aunt and I were out shopping and I said, let's just go in here and I'll pick up an inexpensive set of brushes and we'll see, I'll just play with, I don't want to spend a ton of money because I've got a bazillion brushes at home. So I went into Michael's and I picked up a pack of brushes that it was $8.99 and there were this many brushes in there. There might have been one more that I don't have my hands on right now. But some of them have the little plastic things on them, to keep them nice. And I only used, I think I might have used these two. Okay, so one's a flat. This one here, these are synthetics. That's a synthetic flat. And this is a synthetic filbert. It's got that curved, where are you? There, a curved edge on it. There you go. Okay, so I wasn't really impressed. They didn't, and we're talking about watercolor. They didn't hold much paint, and they didn't move it around too well. So I thought, well, we'll come home and we'll see what we can do. So I got out these brushes. Now I've never used this brush, and I was just fiddling around with it. This is really not good. So I wasn't happy with that. Now this is what they call a shader. I never ever use these. I really bought this pack because I wanted these brushes in there and maybe a couple of fine line, like script liners. Those. So I never use a shader. Okay, but they were in the pack and I really wanted that part. These have the nice soft grips on them. However, I bought three of these online. They're Royal, and I have to put my eyes, soft grips. And I love these brushes. I love these brushes. I know I didn't spend too much more for these three than I spent for these, I don't know, 2, 3, 7 brushes. But this one certainly doesn't do that. And it moves the paint around. It's smooth. I really like it. So we're going to see what we can do here. Now this is a shader, as I said. I'm going to tap my brush in the water, tap it off on the paper towel. And I've got 3 kinds of paint. I got some white, some alizarin crimson, and some Hooker's green. And I just put it on there so I could, they're bright colors. Okay, so here comes, I'm going to add a little white to that. Okay, I don't want it pink. What I want is alizarin. Most acrylic paint is fairly transparent, and I want it to be more opaque. Now, I cannot change this whole pile of paint here by adding some white to it. So I pull some off and I work in a small amount. Okay, so I've got my brush. I like to move it around to see how the paint moves with the brush. And then I've got paint there. I've used most everything there. I need to flip that, but because of the shading, the way it's cut, we'll see what's going to happen here. It's different. It moves different. That's why I don't usually use a shader. because I want a flat surface that's going to be the same in both directions. Now, let's see about this. This should give me, okay, well, I got a fine line there, so that's good. That's good. Now, if I wanted to paint a leaf, see, I can't, when I flip it over, it's not the same, so I can't get the same thing. Let's try my regular brush. Let me show you the difference. Tap it in the water, tap it off on the paper towel. I'm adding just a little more red. Every time I'm adding more red to this mix. Okay, so here's one leaf. Now if I want to flip it over, I want to be able to do the same thing. and I can't with the shader. This, and I know you can't feel this part, but this moves so smooth and so easy. Now, yes, I've practiced a ton. I've painted hundreds and thousands of leaves, but it held all that paint. Okay, that's where I started to run out, right there and there. Okay, I started to run out on this one almost, well, you can see that end's not very good. I started to run out here, right in here. I'm going to rinse that brush out. Now, you don't ever leave your brush in the water, because after, see, there's supposed to be some glue in here that holds this ferrule to this handle, and there is none. There is no glue in there whatsoever. Well, maybe there is some glue, but it didn't do its job. So what happens is the water gets in there and it loosens up the glue, and then this comes off, and no matter what you do to it, it will never, you can glue it again, you can pinch it with pliers, you can run a screw through it. It'll still never be as sturdy as this. Okay, so let's try another brush. Let's go for the one that I wanted to, one of the ones I really wanted and bought the pack for. Okay, so here comes the red. I'm adding more red, and see how it's getting redder and redder each time. I'm just pulling off a little bit. If I would have taken that whole pile of paint and tried to change it with that, it would still not be working. Okay, so here's my line. Okay, that's thicker than I like. That's pressure. You have to learn to be back on the brush, back on that handle, and the pressure that you put. Now see, if that's pretty good. Now if I come down and push harder, I'm going to get a wider line. That's something that a new artist should practice, is how to, where the pressure is. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm losing paint right there. I'm running out of paint right there. Okay. It's still working okay, but I'm running out of paint there. You can really see I'm running out of paint there. Okay. Those are things that's probably not bad, but on a really good brush, I wouldn't be running out of paint yet. I would still have paint to work with. Okay, so let's look over here at this. Okay, you can see I just started to lose paint right there. I should be able to come and I just flip my brush over, and because there's paint on both sides. Don't cheat yourself. Use both sides. That's why I like the straight edge. That's why I don't like shaders. But I started to lose paint right there, And when I flipped it over, right there. So I didn't even get all the way around one time with this brush. Now, the drag, see this, I'm loading my brush like I would normally load a brush. There. That's where it started to lose it, right there. Okay? You should be able to go all the way over and half the way back. So you're always going to be loading this brush. And that's disruptive to your art process. It's hard to keep moving when you have to constantly keep loading the brush. So these brushes helped me get through a weekend with no watercolor brushes. And this is acrylic paint that I'm using here, my normal acrylic paint. I'm rinsing out my brush. I have 3 rules for brushes. Never leave them sit in the water because of what I just explained. Never let them sit in the paint because this is acrylic paint and it dries really, really quickly. And it'll dry on those bristles and then it'll be hard to get it out, if not impossible. And you never get paint, this is the ferrule, this metal part, you don't get paint down into here because if you do, it'll get down in that ferrule, it'll dry real quick, and it'll splay your bristles out, and then your brush will be practically unusable. Now, I never throw them out because I try to find oh wait, I want to try to get this, and I think that old crappy brush over there will do it. So that's a good thing. But I'm not impressed. I feel like I pretty much threw away $8.99. If I were you, I would look for these Royal Soft Grips online and see if you can't find them. I think these were, I don't know, $3 a piece or so. I bought 3 of them. So there's $9 that I have used for 2 or 3 years. Here's $9 that I'll probably never use again. So you decide what you're going to do. But when you go to the art store, and particularly if you're a new artist, it is so intimidating in the art store. It's so intimidating. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to get. I don't want to look stupid. So you don't have to buy the most expensive brush in there, but don't buy the cheapest. Get somewhere up the line a little bit, spend a little more money, and buy fewer brushes, and work with what you have there, and learn how to use those by practicing this kind of thing to figure out, oh, how does this brush move the paint? What does my brush stroke look like? What does my brush stroke feel like? When do I run out of paint? If I run out of paint too soon, then you're just constantly reloading, when in reality it should be on there for a while. You should have enough paint to do something with. You really couldn't paint much of even a daisy with one load of a brush here, and with what I tried. So anyway, that's my tip for the day is, now see, if you looked at these, they look a lot alike with that handle and everything, but these are nowhere near the quality that these are. So look around and really consider what you're buying, and don't think, oh well, I can get these for, I can get 27 brushes for $9.99. Throw those brushes away right now because they will not help you improve your art whatsoever. You need good tools. You don't need the most expensive tools on the planet, but you do need some good tools, good paint and good brushes. And I think if I had to pick between good paint and good brushes, I'd go for good brushes. That's my theory in the subject. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click that little bell there and you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. Also, visit my website, www.paintingwithacrylics101.com, where I have a free class, I have other individual classes, and I have a full-blown art course. And if you, I also have a couple of Facebook pages. One is Bucket List Artists. So if you're somebody who's always wanted to learn to paint or draw, but life got in the way, go to that on Facebook. Look for groups, and then put in Bucket List Artists and ask to join, answer the 3 questions, and I'll say, yes, come on in. And I do a live every single Thursday at 1 o'clock. So thanks a lot. Let's have a great day. Let's paint together real soon.